Today you will learn about for loops in JavaScript. For loops are the most common type of loops, even though they might look very scary at first. The best way to get used to them is through practice. So let's try to solve the same challenges as we had for the while loop, but at this time using for loops. In the first challenge, we need to sum all numbers from 1 to 100. On the right side, I have a while loop solution that we made in the video about while loops. But right now, on the left side, I will solve the same challenge using for loops. At first, I'm using for keyword. Then I have parentheses. The part inside of the parentheses is split into 3 different parts. Let's have a look at the middle part of the for loop. We can find that this part is absolutely the same as we had in the for loop. So the middle part determines while our loop should work. Then if we look at the while loop, we see that we initialized our number before the loop. But in the for loop, we have the first part where we can initialize our variable. And the third part of the for loop is the last action in our cycle. So after the cycle, we should increase the number by 1. We have the same line in the while loop, but it is written in the body of while loop. And then if I want to sum all numbers from 1 to 100, I also need a variable that will store my answer. So I will initialize the total. And in the body, I will write absolutely the same line that we had in our for loop. So total equals total plus number. And let's also log the result to the console. And now in the console, we might see the answer 5015. That is the right answer. Now I will change number to a new variable I. I stands for index, and this is the most common name that we are using in the for loop. And instead of the line total equal total plus I will use a shorthand. Total plus equal I. If these shorthands as plus plus and plus equal are new for you, I have a video on this topic. Let's practice more to get comfortable with for loops. In this challenge, we have 2 phases. So in the rising phase, while our counter moving or changing from 0 to 5, we should add the word darling to our letter. And in the falling phase, when our counter changing from 5 to -5, we should add the word love to our letter. Let's start from the rising phase. I'm starting from the variable letter that equals to an empty string. And then I will write a for loop. So I'm starting from the keyword for. Then I should initialize our variable. Generally, the name of the variable is I. So I will write let I equal to 0 instead of the let counter equal to 0. Then we have the same condition as we had in the while loop. In this case, while our counter is less than 5, so I can write I is less than 5. And then what we should do with our counter after each cycle. So we should increase the counter by 1, and I will write I++. Now inside of our body, I will add the word darling to our letter. And at the end of this word, I will add a space to increase the readability in the console. Let's log the result to the console. And now you can see that we have 5 times word darling separated by space, and we had the same result with a while loop. So now let's write the falling phase. Again, I will start from the for loop. This might be tricky, but I can again initialize the value I in this for loop. But I think that this might be confusing why we can initialize our variable again. So I think that this is better to change this letter to another one because this topic is beyond this video. So let's just change I to J. And then we should write the condition while our loop should run. So as you see, while our counter changes from 5 to -5, we should add the word love to our letter. So I will write J is more than -5. And we also should change the initial value of j to 5 because we start our falling phase from the counter of 5. And finally, I will write I minus minus because we should decrement our counter after each iteration. Inside of our body, I will write letter plus equal love. Let's look at the result in the console. So I will delete this line after our first for loop and I will add it after our second for loop. And now I have a reference error because I forgot that we have used j in this case and I wrote I minus minus. So we should change this I to j. And now if we look to the console, we see that we have 5 words darling and then a lot of words love. The third challenge is called printing machine. In this challenge, we should ask a user to write 5-letter message using the confirm function. When the user presses OK, we should add the chosen letter to the message, and when the user presses cancel, we should switch the letter to another one. Pause this video to solve this challenge by your own, but instead of the while loop, using for loops. But right now, let's solve this challenge together, and it will be very interesting that the solution will be almost the same. So I might just copy this part that we had in our while loop challenge. And all what I need to change is the keyword while to the keyword for. And then I also should add the first and the third parts of the for loop. But both these parts don't influence the result at all. So I might write whatever I want in our first part and in our third part. So let's also check this in the console. Is it working or not? And now you see that, please write a message. And then I might add this letter to the message. Or I might switch the letter and add our new letter to the message. And as you see by pressing OK, I wrote the 5-letter message that we see in our console. And the problem of using for loop in this challenge that the for loop is built for specific amount of cycles. These 3 parts that we have in the for loop, they determine the specific amount of cycles. As we had in our first challenge, we knew that we should sum all numbers from 1 to 100. So we knew that if we add a new number to the total every iteration, we should do 100 iterations. And this is the reason why our for loop solution was much simpler than our while loop solution. But the main purpose of while loop is to be used when you don't know the specific amount of cycles. As in this example, we don't know how many cycles user needs to write the 5 letters message because he might switch the letter and basically he might do it infinite amount of time. He might just press cancel and cancel and cancel. For these situations, while loop is much better, is much simpler because it has only the condition while it should run. In the next video, we will continue with for loops to master this important piece of coding.